Hi, it's Mike with AskTractorMike.com. Well, I'm going to tell a kind of a long story today about a situation that happened this past weekend. And as I post this, it's the day before 4th of July of 2025. And for kind of three parts of the story. The first part I'm going to tell you about is my boat. My family decided back in 2010 we were going to try to find a used boat. The kids were at the age where they were liking to go to the lake, and I've always said it's better to know somebody with a boat than to own a boat, and we didn't know anybody with a boat, and we live near a bunch of lakes. So we bought a 1987 Sea Ray. Now this is going to all relate to tractors before it's over with, but here's my boat. It is a very well preserved 1987 Sea Ray. It's got a little Chevy V8 motor in it. And we bought it back in 2010. And when we bought the boat is kind of when I think I really realized what folks that buy tractors that have never owned tractors feel like. Because I had never owned a boat, grew up on a farm. If you weren't working, you didn't have value. So recreation was not a big thing. But we live in the middle of a bunch of lakes here in the Ozarks. And it's a lot of fun to go to the lake. I enjoy it. I truly do. And so we bought this boat, and the guy that sold it to us was gracious enough to give me about really a couple of hours of training. We went all over Table Rock Lake, and he told me how to work the trim tabs and everything. But I literally, when I got the boat, was terrified I was going to sink it. And we it's an old boat. We didn't have much money in it. If it went to the bottom of Table Rock, it wasn't the end of the world. But I was just intimidated by something I didn't understand. Didn't really understand the trim tabs. Didn't really understand the how the motor worked, the prop, all of that stuff. And just terrified I was going to sink it all the time. And it was right before I started my YouTube channel. It helped me really empathize with those of you that buy tractors that didn't grow up on a farm. And every time you're on it, you're worried you're going to tear it up. And I've probably not I tore the prop out of it one time, but to me, if you've not torn the prop out of a boat, you're not really a boater. But by and large, I've been lucky. We did launch it one time without the plug in it, but we got it back on the trailer and got that fixed. But long story about the boat is it helped me really empathize with those of you guys that buy tractors. And so we've always had to store the boat off our place because we didn't have room, which brings me to part two of our story. We're out of the horse business. Those of you that watch my channel probably see my horses in the background, and they're gone. The last one was an older horse, and good friends with a vet that we have a Tuesday night old man's band group that plays here, and the drummer is my vet. And he was coming to drum one night and said, "That old horse of yours, fella, he's not doing well, and it's his time. It's time to put him down." And so we had two horses. We found a home for the other one, a good home, really good home. And a fella, we had to put him down, which is, if you've owned horses, it's kind of I don't care how long you've had livestock. I grew up on a farm, you lose them, but it's a little bit traumatic with a horse. And so we're out of the horse business. So that brings me to part three of my story, and that is that I'm now able to store my tractors in an emergency in the lean-to. And I'm sorry for the cloudy picture. It's humid here. It's getting ready to rain. Under the lean-to where the horses used to stay. And I've never been able to do that because in a storm, the horses would be there. I have to fold the roll bars down. But I don't like stuff getting wet. I really, really don't like stuff getting wet. And I own two tractors. That's the Massey that I inherited from my father that I don't use that much. But every now and again, I want to do a video about a clutch tractor or a bigger tractor. And there's my predominant tractor, the New Holland that I bought back when I worked in the dealership world. So jump forward this past Sunday, we were down on Table Rock Lake in southwest Missouri with some friends. And we had the boat in a boat slip for a week, and we were getting ready to pull it out. We pulled it out, brought it home, and I turned on weather, and there's a pretty bad storm rolling in. Well, both of these tractors are parked in the barn, and I've got quite a bit of junk. I junk up places. I don't keep a tidy place like a lot of folks do. there was a lot of stuff in the way for the boat to get into the barn, and the boat's not easy to get into the barn. My wife and I out, her guiding me in and me backing. I'm pretty good at backing a trailer. I can get it in there, but it's close on both sides when you get it in there. And so weatherman is saying 80-mile-an-hour winds and hail. And we're like, well, we better get after this because it was supposed to roll in. And we have a lot of limbs down, and there's probably some trees down back in the woods, but it came one whale of a storm. And this is my point today. I got the boat, I got the tractors out of the barn, got them positioned to go under this overhang, got the roll bar down on both of them because you have to do that. And I was driving the Massey around, and I've got an 8-foot bush hog that goes on the back of it, and I was driving it around, and as I was starting to leave, I mean, the skies open up and it's dumping rain on me, hard rain, hard big drops rain. I realized I'm going to be drenched, and so we're getting pelted with rain. My wife's out helping too, and so I'm driving around, and I've got a 10-foot gate, 10-foot double gate that I'm driving through, and here is my point today. I was in a hurry. I was not paying attention. I was getting wet, which I don't like. My tractor was getting wet, which I really don't like. And I'm coming around the corner, and I hook a gate. Now, that doesn't look like much, but that's going to cost me, a couple of hours. I'm going to have to take the gate off the hinges, and I don't know how much damage I did there, but I was watching this other gate side here, and I was real close. And I was actually kind of congratulating myself on being a great tractor driver and how I didn't even have to look. I could get through, and I thought I was through, but I hooked the bottom part of that gate, and I've done some major damage there, and I've got to fix it. So, point of my story. I'm mad at myself. I was frustrated. I was saying some bad words when that happened, but I was safe. And I think a lot of accidents with tractors happen when it's starting to rain, and you've got hay to put up, and you want to get that one last bale before it gets too wet to bale, or you're trying to put seeds in the ground and you're trying to get done. Haste makes a lot of farm accidents. And I am very, very fortunate. That's going to cost me some time to fix, but I've got work I need to do on this fence anyway. But I'm safe. And I didn't tear up my bush hog or my tractor. But a lot of times when we're working on a tractor, we're trying to get the job done. A lot of us that own small tractors have jobs in town. We have limited free time. We're out. We're in your mind, I'm going to go out. I'm going to get this job done while I'm out. And if Mother Nature doesn't cooperate, we get frustrated. And this, like I was here, and we're in a hurry, and we're pushing it, and that's when accidents happen. I read in the news this week, granddad of a toddler ran over a toddler with a tractor in a town near here. And that family is dealing with all of the stuff that goes with loss of a small child. And that's the last thing in the world we want. And I don't know if there was haste involved in that situation or not, doesn't matter. But the bottom line of it is, take your time. Even when you're under duress, it's more important for you to survive your tractor project than for you to get your job done. And that's my point today. I just want to put that out there. And if you watch this far, you're probably a loyal viewer, and you know I preach safety a lot. But a lot of times, and there's no statistics on this, but you can tell what the main tractor accidents are, like rollover and PTO entanglement and stuff like that, and getting run over. But you can't tell what the situation was before that. There's no statistics on that. But I bet a lot of times it was somebody in a hurry trying to get a job done. So right here before the 4th of July, if you're out trying to get jobs done before the 4th so you can celebrate, slow down. Take your time. Don't let an accident happen that destroys property like I did. And I hooked both sides on that gate. I did a number on that gate. But I'm safe, and I'm thankful. Appreciate you watching my videos. Love it if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking the mic face icon, and check the bell so you get notified when I post future videos. Here's a link to my website and the Tractor Fun Store with some cool things for sale for the tractor owner. It helps me make my living. And here's another couple videos you might want to watch. Thanks for watching. Happy 4th of July.